Alright, so since we're already to the range function, we should probably discuss on what we're going to talk about here. Alright, so the first thing we're going to discuss is what the range function is. The range function is a built-in Python function which basically counts numbers. The second thing we're going to discuss here is that we're going to have list its uses. Third, that we can do some cool examples here. Alright, let's start. So we're just going to create a new file, or if you've already anticipated it, you can open your file by holding Control, then click O, then you look for your range, then you look for your file, and then you have it. Now let's start. First, we're going to make a variable called loop and then assign that to range range and 10. Alright, we have this. So as you can see here, nothing really useful comes out. Well, here's the thing. A range can't print its own things. So a range can't print its own argument. So this means you're going to have to make a list out of it. Use the list constructor. See? Now we've got it. Now what we're going to do next is that we're going to go to the range function with two arguments, which is most commonly used. Remember our for loops? We use range in for loops. A range with two arguments, actually. It'll print out the exact same thing, so we can anticipate it and make a list out of it. So here's a question. Why would we need this when we already have this? Well, here's the thing. This is used for simplicity and making sure it has a single definite value. This one is much more flexible because it can start at any location. Basically, if this always starts at index 0, then this can start at index 1, index 2, index 3, all the way up to 9, because 10 is usually the end. And it won't print anything at all if you try to do this. Booyah! Nothing. So, what happens if we do this? Nothing actually happens though. See? It never broke. So what if we started at 1? Yeah, 9. Then we're going to go on to the third one. That is 1, then 5. Okay, so what does this do? Well, here's the thing. It does this. It's supposed to start here and all the way up to 10. I mean all the way up to 9 minus, because this is the end. However, with this is actually kind of like a jump stop. Basically, it's like this. If you're trying to move, but then you find a shortcut, then it ends. But if that shortcut is actually a dead end, then yeah, something like that. Watch this. I'm just gonna print it out. See? What happened? Well, here's the thing. It counted from 1, but jumped to 5, but then it counted again. This is especially useful when you want to skip some numbers or instructions or arguments. Then the next thing you can do with the range is that you can use the len. You can find out how many elements are in a range. Watch this. Hold on. I'm just gonna do this. Hold on. There's 2 in loop 3. Oops. But what about in loop 2? 9. Because it counted this. But obviously there is 10 in the loop. The original loop variable. However, let's test it though. Because yeah, I knew it. So why do we need the range? Well, again, it's actually for counting numbers. Also, by the way, you can actually manipulate the range. Instead of having an actual argument, you can actually do this. Watch this. For I in range loop. You can do that. It looks illegal, but I'm not kidding. You can do that. Print I. I is supposed to be the counting variable or iteration. And then this one, well, it's just... And now there's a type error. The problem is range object cannot be interpreted as an integer. So we can scale back and then try range 1 to 5. Let's try it. Now this is the problem. Sometimes when you're dealing with range, it won't work. Also, VS Code seems really buggy. Did you see that? It literally, even though I had already fixed the code, it didn't even like receive it. So sometimes using VS Code can be really annoying because there's this AI helper and then it really, really ticks me off. But again, this is still fixed. See? Now, what if we try loop? Now, this won't break. You know why? Because it's white. I'm sure it won't. Now, here's the problem. VS Code is not very reliable when it comes to error detecting. I mean, of course, it is reliable with error detecting, but sometimes it can trick you because most users assume that this one checks if the layout is wrong. However, this only checks for spelling errors or like syntax errors. It doesn't actually check for anything else. So this is the problem. How do we get this? Easy fix. You can do this. And nope. However, what we can do is do this. Hold on. Just gotta get rid of this. Finally. Then what if we did this? Print len list actually. Loop Then we're going to do something a little crazy here. Now, this won't work. You know why? Watch this. It got a type error. Its object is not iterable. So that's the problem. You can't do this and this in the same line. However, there's one thing that we can't. Yeah, VS Code is really buggy. This is the problem. This AI helper just won't let me go. In order to fix that, we can actually just delete the line and then keep running it. So if F5 or Control F5 doesn't work, oh wait, Control F5 works. I mean, if Control F5 or F5 doesn't work, you can simply just run this. As you can see here, there's a few stuff here. Run Python file, run Python file in dedicated terminal. Run as task, Python debugger, debug Python file, and Python debugger, debug using launch.json. Now, using this, I'm not sure what happens, but using this, it's no. This is the problem. Don't save. This is the problem. What about this? Okay, that works. Now the next thing we can do is that with range, you can also do this. Hold on. Wait. Then. What's this? It'll only print out a single value. Oh wait, hold on. I forgot to print it. This seems weird, but I'm not kidding. You can do this. Well, here's the thing. It prints out to start here and then it ends here. So what if I printed out 9? Then nothing. So that's it for today's video. And in the next video, we'll be talking about something you might like. And that is Python arrays. Even though we already covered Python arrays, it's only the specific types. We haven't actually covered the general type. So after Python arrays, we'll do another mini project. And that mini project is a shop simulator. Just kidding. We're actually going to make an exercise in order to make a half pyramid. And when you say half pyramid, it should look like something like half a pyramid, of course. So that's it.